guy. And I said, you know, did you vote in the last election? He's probably in his early 20s. He said, no, I was in prison.
I was in Ventura.
You were in that prison?
California Youth Authority, yeah, I was.
Where TWA has the reservation thing?
Yeah.
If you call TWA at certain times of the day to make a plane reservation, you're talking to an inmate in Ventura, California. He goes, yeah, that was us. So you mean you're in prison and you're taking airline reservations and you're sending people to the Bahamas, and you can't even walk outside?
I think it's like a corporational thing, so TWA doesn't have to hire people, and they can pay less, because if you go into a job at TWA, they're gonna pay you $7, $8, $9 an hour.
Any funny stories when people calling up for a reservation?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds, like how people like get phone numbers and stuff like that and get hookups, and like girls will be calling and be like, hey, what's your name, and this and that. Your normal stuff that would probably happen if you were working at TWA, but they don't realize that what they're really talking to are rapists or murderers or, people that are just like, they talk about like how they're supposed to change kids and this and that.
Yeah.
I came out as a murderer. I don't give a fuck about you, anybody in here. Why should I?
You don't give a shit?
Nah, nobody gives a shit in there.
You don't give a shit? You don't give a shit about me?
Nah, I do not care about nobody, and that is your basic society now.
But you could fuck me up right now if you wanted to.
Yeah, I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care?
No, I wouldn't.
So next time you're like treating that person on the phone really shitty because they can't find your frequent flyer number, just remember, you could get a visit someday. Isn't that sick, though? I mean, corporations are using prison labor. We're not talking about China here. We're talking about the U.S. of A. Spalding packages their golf balls in prisons in Hawaii. Microsoft packages software in prisons in Washington. Eddie Bauer has clothes made in prisons in Washington State. You aware of this? If you live in Colorado, and you're getting a call from AT&T. AT&T uses prisoners to do their marketing for them, their telemarketing. They're calling the people at 9 o'clock at night, asking them to switch from MCI, and they're doing 20 to life. And what do you think they're getting paid? Virtually nothing. I mean, really, why don't we just close down all the factories, throw everyone out of work, right? A number of them will obviously turn to crime because they'll be unemployed. We can then ship them back into the factory, which can now be a prison, and they can do their old job, which they're already trained to do, and get paid $2 an hour. And the company can make a huge profit. What a great idea, huh? Then the Dow can hit 10,000. Yeah!
But it's kind of a new, there's kind of a new generation of media guides coming in now.
Can we change the name to like media guide or something, but not escort?
Literary gigolo.
Yeah. Minneapolis is the headquarters for Pillsbury, which has been using federal funds to send their doughboy to the third world.
¿Necesitas esto? Pillsbury Doughboy. ¿Una cuchara y ya? Bueno, ¿y esto?
Pillsbury, en la sección refrigerada.
This escort would be the first to join me as a partner in crime.
Okay, now it's one side of it is coming up here on our left. This is probably going to be our easiest way to approach it.
Shut that off?
What's wrong?
You want to shut it off?
Yeah, shut it off, shut it off, shut it off.
What are you doing?
We'd like to go up and talk to the public relations people.
You don't be taking film through this building. You have to have permission from the building before you can do anything here.
All we want to ask is about Pillsbury and their $11 million. All right. Can we film out here? They told me I was allowed to ask the chairman one question as long as I wrote it on a yellow Post-it note. Okay, so here's the question. Why does Pillsbury need $11 million in welfare for the doughboy?
What you should do this afternoon is check in here and get some more information.
But I'll call 330-5113. I left Pillsbury confident that they would take this Post-it note to their leader and convince him to stop accepting welfare checks for the little man made of dough.
from Chicago Media.
Oh, hi. Are you the new escort?
Yes, I am.
Oh, how you doing?
Fine. How about you?
Oh, they are? Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being here.
Okay, my pleasure.
All right.
Believe me, my pleasure. Michael is like a floor sample of what we can all be. He's a wonderful floor sample, and he gives us courage, you know, and he says, you know, we can make a difference. Each one of us can. But all we have to do is stand up and stand together.
One more verse. One more. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the Union. One more verse. Hearing that song of the 30s, of the Flint sit-down strike, of labor, the CIO, seated next to Michael Moore. Now, many of you know who Michael Moore is. And Michael Moore's new book is called Downsize This, Random Threats from an Unarmed American. And so just in hearing this passage from this old labor song of the 30s, what thought comes to your mind immediately?
I think of my Uncle Laverne, actually, who was in that sit-down strike 60 years ago this winter, Studs. And I think about, you know, how all of us gained from that and all other labor actions that came after that, how the standard of living, how our health care, Social Security, child labor, all these things came as a result of the struggle that those people participated in. And if they could see what's going on now.
We come to the big subject. We hear the phrase today, since the evil empire is gone, they have a new enemy called terrorists. And so you have a picture at the beginning of this book, Downsize This, 2 photographs. What is terrorism? And it's almost, 2 photographs almost identical. Destroyed buildings. The first one's Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 1995, after the bombing. Down below, Flint, Michigan, 1996. And you can hardly tell the difference. They're 2 pieces of destruction. So the question is, what is terrorism?
Well, obviously, if you park a Ryder truck in front of a building filled with explosives and blow up that building and kill 168 people, that's an act of terrorism. There's no question about that. But what do you call it, Studs, when you politely remove the people from the building first and then blow it up? But in the ensuing years, the people that used to work in that building, because their livelihood has been stripped from them, the people that used to work there, a number of them will die. They'll die from suicide. They'll die from spousal abuse. They'll die from drugs and alcoholism. All the social problems that surround people when they become unemployed. Those people are just as dead as the people in Oklahoma City, but we don't call the actions of the company terrorism, do we? We don't call the company a murderer. But I do consider this an act of economic terrorism, when at a time you're making a record profit, you would throw people out of work just so you can make a little bit more.
Back when we were in Centralia, we had promised the workers at payday that when we got to Chicago, we'd pay their owners a visit.
We're just supposed to take this to the chairman's office. Surprise.
You better check with that girl in there before you go anywhere.
Okay.
Jim, you're not allowed in here. You have to get him out.
Prize, it's payday, Friday.
Wait a minute.
No.
I got a check here for 65 cents to buy the last payday.
Yeah, but who told you guys you could come in here?
We did.
Who is Michael Moore?
That's me. I'm Michael Moore. Are you security?
Yes.
Huh?
Outside.
Better wait out there.
We can't wait in here?
No.
Outside.
Oh, okay. All
You
right.
guys will call the police.
Call the police.
Yeah.
You don't need to call the police. Let's go outside.
Bringing a present.
Leave the pilot outside the door.
You want to get outside the door, please?
Huh? Are they going to call up?
They already did call. You're not allowed here. Outside.
Yeah, take him outside the door and wait there.
And we want it. Well,
The boss is coming to meet you outside the door.
The boss is going to come out?
Yeah.
He'll come out.
Outside the door.
Okay, great.
I know. But
$20 million profit.
Yeah, he's going to see you outside.
Please, sir.
All right.